Have you ever had to shit in a haunted bathroom? Tell us in the comments below. Welcome back to Not My Ghost, Not My Problem. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Jen. And today we are stepping into the Dixie house, which is a home in St. Augustine, Florida, that on paper probably shouldn't be haunted. It was built in 1930, and there are no documented massacres, no infamous crime, no centuries-old tragedy stamped onto the address. And yet, the house now operates as a paranormal investigation site with reports of at least 11 spirits, a haunted doll kept in a cabinet. I don't know why you would lock it up, a possible portal, and even a claimed connection to one of the most notoriously haunted locations in St. Augustine. That was enough to get our attention, so we booked a 2-hour private investigation and went in ourselves. In this episode, we're breaking down what we could actually confirm about the house's history, the spirits that are reportedly there, the equipment that we used to detect that activity, and what actually happened during our 2-hour investigation. So grab your EMF meter, your spirit box, and your flashlight, because today we are stepping into the Dixie house.
This was a fun investigation.
It was. It
was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and I don't want to get into too much detail because we're going to talk about it in the episode, but it over delivered, like, more than I thought it could.
It did. And then we'll get into a little bit later what some of my feelings about that are.
Same. We will. But I enjoyed it.
I would do it again.
My light's on.
Balloon light came on. Yeah.
It did.
I saw that.
Yeah, that one's been active. It's funny, though, because it was active. Like last night, me and Mike were sitting on the couches watching TV, and it was going like crazy. It just kept like going off, but it would actually like turn off when I asked it to turn off, and Mike was getting a little freaked out by it.
Well, Mike better buckle up because
just a little. Like he was fine. He was sitting there and dealing, but like you could tell that he was just like, it's responding to her. Like it was very interesting. And then we turned on the most recent episode of Shrinking, which is one of the shows we watched together. If you're not watching Shrinking, go watch it. Amazing show. Love it on Apple TV. Highly recommend. But we were watching it and it started to go off again. And right before we started it, Mike asked if, because I was like, I kept asking it to turn it off and it wouldn't. And Mike was like, do you want me to get up and turn it off? And I said, oh, yeah, sure. Because, we're going to watch the show. And he literally stood up and like took 2 steps towards it and it turned off. And I was like, yep, it does that most of the time. And then it started like a couple minutes into the episode, it started again. And I kept saying like, hey, come on, we're watching the episode. You can turn it back on when the episode's over. And then it looked like it kept wanting to try to turn it off, but it couldn't, like it was dimming. So then twice I got up to go turn it off. And both times I stood up, it turned itself off. But then all day today while I'm working, didn't come on, not a single time. And then we start to record and it is popping on again.
It knows it's its space.
Yeah, it does. It's like, I want to have people watch me on YouTube.
I would play.
Yeah. Welcome to our scripted, unscripted banter.
Yeah. You remembered to say it early.
I did. I usually forget, but I remembered this time. Are you ready for your question?
Sure.
Okay. What is the one piece of paranormal investigation equipment that you trust the most? And what do you trust the least?
Equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I think things I trust the most are things like an Ovilus or a PS device where you can clearly get direct responses.
Okay.
Like if you ask a name, like for a name, and then it gives you a name, or
Yeah.
if you're talking about a location, or it says something that is tied to that location. And it just makes the pieces kind of fit together. I guess I would trust that the most.
Okay.
I feel like EMF is probably the least. Not that I don't think that it is that I don't think it has its place.
Okay.
But I know that other things can affect
Can set it off.
EMF.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that to me is where I'm a little bit more needs to be done. Oh,
Yeah.
that was interesting that this happened, but let's see if we can replicate it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would have to say I would trust anything that is motion sensor
Yeah.
over like EMF meters, just because I feel like it's, and I'm probably the same with you with what I trust the least is anything EMF, because, I have a very cheap REM pod. Technically you have the same REM pod that I do, but mine does weird things. And
mine works better than yours.
Yeah, it does. We got them off Etsy, and I bought it for Kelly, and then this one had like a weird defect. I don't even know where it is, to be honest with you.
But is this even EMF?
It was
though,
discounted.
Or is it's more
it's EMF.
Motion, like touch. Is it?
No, because the reason why I don't trust this is because I've told you, when I turn my fan on in either my living room or my bedroom, if I have this on, it will go off when I flip that switch.
If I touch it, it goes off too.
Yes, but it's both. It's motion and EMF.
Okay.
So that's where I get with the EMF.
I've been having some good activity. Actually, I took a video we were going to post on our socials that we forgot to post. We'll have to do that.
Oh, yeah, we will. But yeah, motion detectors, I feel like, are harder to set off than something with EMF.
And we will have a video in this episode later for you all to see what we're talking about.
And if you're wondering what any of this equipment is, stay tuned, because we're going to go over it in this episode. So, yeah. But first, I do have a couple of facts. And today's facts are about paranormal investigations. So, you probably know this, but EMF meters were not designed for ghost hunting. Shocker! They were originally created to detect electrical wiring and radiation sources. Paranormal investigators later adopted them. Adopted them. Yes. Sorry, I just got really distracted for a second.
It's my face. I know. It's so beautiful.
So I do want to let everybody know that.
No.
I said no before you said it's so beautiful. That was not what my no was to. My no was that I wasn't distracted by your face. I thought you were making a comment about how ugly you were, and that's what was distracting me. So that's why I was saying no. And then you twisted it on me and said that you were beautiful, which is something you don't do very often. So
that's right. A fairly safe assumption on your part.
Thank you. Yes. So I do want to let our listeners and viewers know that we are using a new recording software room. I don't know what the technical terms are, because what we pay for had partnered with something else, and then they developed their own thing, and now they're phasing out to something else. So hopefully everything goes smoothly and sounds good, and it's great. But the issue I'm having is Kelly keeps freezing. Like her audio keeps coming through, but she will keep freezing. So like I'm talking and looking at her, and then like she's frozen, and I'm like, so it's very distracting. So if I sound distracted more than usual, that's why.
We don't want to use this new system. We liked our old one, but
we did.
We have to get on it early before they force us out of the old one, so we're not scrambling. Or shall I say, so Jen is not scrambling.
Because right now it's my choice to use it. I'm always an early adopter of things. Like I know Microsoft is one of the Outlook. The app is something a couple of years ago, they came out with a new Outlook, and everybody at my day job was like, I'm not switching. I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I need to switch on my terms, because that way I always have that safety net that if it sucks, I can go back. I don't, because I know eventually I'll have to switch, but I don't know.
Y'all don't understand how you have to navigate speaking or treating Jen. And I'll give you a little example of this. It has to be Jen's idea, or Jen has to motivate herself. One day, not too long ago, I messaged her
I know what
and
you're
said,
talking about.
I sent her a text message and I said, hey, did you text Jonathan with a reminder about tonight? Because that was the night that we recorded with Jonathan and Joel. And Jen responded back, no, and now I don't want to because you told me to. But I speak Jen. So I responded with, I didn't tell you to. I simply asked you if you had. All better? And she said, yes, it is. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I had woken up that morning. I had woken up that morning and I was like, I need to text Jonathan. And Kelly texted me at like 7:40, which is like 10 minutes after I wake up. So I was really impressed with my brain that I remembered. And then I was like getting my coffee, feeding my dog, getting ready to sit down to do my day job where I was going to, quickly send a little message. And I get this message from Kelly, and I was like so proud of myself that I remembered by myself. So the second she reminded me, I was like, well, fuck that. I don't want to do it anymore.
Which is funny because me reminding you in no way means that you didn't remember it.
I know.
You still remembered it. Me reminding of you of that had nothing to do with it. But I will also say that Jen will tell me, I won't remember that. Remind me of this. Remind me of this.
Yes.
But then when I do, I cannot tell her to do the thing. I simply have to ask if she has.
Yes.
Or she immediately shoots back with, no, and fuck you, I'm not going to do it now. Jen speaks me too.
I do. What can I say, Kelly? I'm autistic.
That you are.
Anyway, second fact. The first widely recognized EVP recording happened in 1959 when a Swedish filmmaker, Fredrik Jurgensen, accidentally captured what he believed were human voices while recording bird songs. He initially suspected radio interference, but the discovery sparked modern EVP research.
That's fascinating. Do you want to know how much of an idiot I am?
I mean, always.
When you said that, I thought they didn't have like ways to record things back then. And then I was like, oh, 59. Yeah, they had like TV and all of it.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
Being an idiot is some of my best work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And our last fact is static electricity can trigger certain devices. Dry air, synthetic clothing, and movement across flooring can build a static charge that affects sensitive EM-based tools. And that's electromagnetic-based tools.
I was going to say, I don't know what EM stands for. M. My daughter, M.
Yeah. Yeah.
Emily.
No.
Yeah.
The static electricity doesn't affect your dog. I mean, it might, but
sure it does at some point.
Yeah. We were just at Atlanta a couple weekends ago. When we were in the hotel, like every time we would walk up and down the hotel and Mike would go to like press the button on the elevator or unlock the door, he would get shocked. And it was funny every time he would do it.
Poor Mike. He's such a good guy. Just trying. He took it every time. He didn't make you push that button or open that door not one time, did he?
Nope,
He
not
was like,
one
I'm gonna
time.
take this, I'm gonna take this shot.
And I laughed at him
Yes.
every single time.
I would expect no less.
Yeah. But before we get into the equipment and the investigation, I'm sorry, I'm really distracted tonight, so this is going to be fun. We are going to talk a little bit about the background and history of the house, what I could find. So one of the first things that I wanted to, Kelly's making that I heard something again face. I hear talking.
I don't hear anything now.
Okay. I definitely heard talking though.
Did it sound close or distant?
Sounded like outside of the door, maybe.
It's possible somebody is outside and like yelled at someone. I don't know.
So one claim that they made very early about the Dixie house, the guy David who works there and investigated with us. And David was fantastic. David, if you're listening, hello. Thank
Absolutely
you. You're
a gem.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
We enjoyed having him investigate with us. We chose to have him investigate with us. He had to be on property, but he didn't have to be a part of our investigation. But just as soon as we walked in and met him, the vibes were there. And we were
They
like,
were.
now we're going to have him
Yeah,
with
we're good.
us. Yeah.
And he is a paranormal investigator, right? Like he investigates with a local team. So he has experience. Like this isn't like a 17-year-old that has a part-time job and doesn't really want to be there, right? Like this guy knows what the fuck he's doing, and we learned a lot from him while there and investigating. But one of the things that he claimed is that the Dixie house sits on a ley line, specifically one that is said to run through the St. Augustine Lighthouse and Maritime Museum.
Now, Jen, for our listeners who may not know, what is a ley line?
For our host at the time who did not know and had to Google it when we got home, I am going to tell you, Kelly. So the term ley line was coined in 1921 by Alfred Watkins, who was an English amateur archaeologist who noticed that ancient landmarks in England often aligned in straight paths. He believed these alignments marked old trade routes or navigational trackways. He was not talking about anything spiritual or energy or a portal. His theory was purely geographical. Now, my brain says, technically, you can draw a straight line on a map between any 2 points, right? Like,
technically, yes.
Yes. So I don't get it, but it was a claim and I'm going into it because, yeah. Over time, especially in New Age circles, the concept evolved. Ley lines became reinterpreted as invisible energy grids crisscrossing the earth. In paranormal theory, they're described as energetic conduits that can amplify activity, connect haunted sites, or even create portals at intersection points. There is no scientific consensus that ley lines emit any type of measurable energy. There's no instruments out there that can detect them, and there is no standardized geophysical map that confirms their existence as energy systems. So from a scientific standpoint, they are considered either coincidental alignments or examples of pattern recognition. But in the paranormal framing, being on the same ley line as an already active location, like the St. Augustine Lighthouse, suggests shared energy or spiritual traffic. So it positions the Dixie house as a part of this larger system rather than its own isolated haunting. But that connection exists within belief systems and not documented geography. It doesn't invalidate the experience or the claim. It just means that it's interpretive.
Thank you for that educational information about ley lines, because
Thank
when he
you.
said it, I did not want to appear stupid. So I was like, oh, that's
Oh,
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that makes sense.
I didn't know that. Right. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Me too. And then we Googled it when we got home. And then I read the little Google AI thing of it. And then I was like, I'm going to dive deeper into this for the episode because it still doesn't make sense. And, you know, I dove deeper and it still doesn't make sense. So
It still doesn't make sense. But this is as deep as we're going to go.
this is as deep as I'm going. If anybody out here is an amateur archaeologist and wants to explain ley lines to us, please. Now we are going to get into the history of the house itself. And there's not a lot, I'll be honest. But I'm going to tell you what I can find, what David told us when we were there, and what I was able to kind of confirm based on records. So the property is listed in St. Johns County and originally said that it was built in 1930, which does align with what we were told on site, that the house started construction in 1930 and completed in 1931. So that matches. Some real estate listings of the house will have the constructed date as 1981, but we were told when we were at the house that the bathroom and the kitchenette were added in 1981. So that date kind of, it matches. So it does reflect that there was significant renovation. So maybe that's why they list it like that. But it confirms what we were told.
It does.
Now, the current back portion of the house, which is the bathroom and the kitchenette, as I said, was not part of the original 1930 structure. Before that addition, the door now inside the home would have served as the rear exterior door. Outdoor facilities, including an outhouse, would have been located behind the home, which was common for smaller residential properties of that era, especially before the mid-century plumbing expansions.
I'm glad we did not have to use the outhouse.
I don't think there was still an outhouse.
I'm still glad that we did not have to pee outside.
I'm glad that there is modern plumbing. Yes, me too. Yeah. For you, really.
Oh, I was having a rough day. I was having a rough trip.
Yeah.
I was having a rough trip, but I don't know that we need to get into all of that on the podcast.
No. Let's just say Kelly
Our
had to use the
patrons-
bathroom a few times during the
Our
investigation.
patrons that we did a live with right before we left for the investigation, they can tell you that I was struggling even before then.
Yes, she was. We are back from a wine and lipstick break.
Yeah.
So I think I remember where I was, but we're not
Who
sure.
knows?
I do like how in the beginning we didn't really do this as much because I feel like we were just so new to podcasting that we were like, we have to be professional. And like, now we're just like, I don't know where the fuck we were, everyone. Just like, if we repeat something and I can't cut it out in editing, it's fine. Y'all get what you get.
Right. And I think that people want authenticity over perfection any day.
I agree.
Yeah. And this is who we are.
Yeah. If you want perfection, go watch TV. If you want authenticity, go watch us on YouTube.
Hey, Jen.
Kelly.
What's that thing you were recently diagnosed with?
Autism?
Oh. That's it. I couldn't remember.
Okay. Yeah. I just had to remind you.
The name keeps slipping me.
I'll keep reminding you. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, but we are going to get back into the commercial use of the Dixie house. So Public property and listing records show that the address has been both residential and commercial over its many years. We were told that in 1981, a construction company purchased the property and began operating its business out of the house. That timeline does align with the reported 1981 renovations, suggesting that the space was modified to accommodate commercial use. I guess if you're working in a construction site, you don't want to have to go use the outhouse.
Especially in 1981.
Yeah. By that time, indoor plumbing was pretty well established.
Yeah, we were real big on indoor plumbing back in the 80s. I know you don't remember it, but it was this new invention that everybody couldn't wait to have.
Like sales data shows that the property recorded a transaction in May 2017, but a change in recorded ownership doesn't necessarily indicate that the business ceased operating there at the time, as commercial properties can continue operating under a new lease agreement or some type of transitional ownership structure. But then in 2022,
that was a mouthful.
That was a mouthful. Thank you. But by 2022, the construction company did stop use of the property, and that is when it was sold to Ghost Augustine. All of that matches what David told us at the investigation. And I just want to preface this with saying that, like, not in any way, shape, or form do I not believe David, because he was a great guy. But we had to do our own research to make sure that, like, this whole thing isn't just people blowing smoke up our asses, right? Like, we want to make sure if we're bringing it on this podcast that we are doing our due diligence and researching and making sure, right? Like, if I was not able to match anything up with what we were told, then I would really start to question and be like, the fuck? Like, property records don't indicate any of this shit. Where are you getting your stories from?
Right.
And that just makes me question how legitimate anything else is.
Right. It is important to corroborate. Is that how you say the word?
I think so. Good job.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah. It is. And I also want to note that the only reason I remember any of this is because I recorded it. Because when we sat down and he went to give us the history of the house, I was like, can I record you? Because we're going to want to, like, go talk about all this on the episode. And he's like, yeah, sure. Otherwise, I would not remember it because it is March 5th and we investigated this at the end of January.
We did.
Oh, it's been a minute.
I'm ready to go back and do it again.
Me too.
I'm just ready to be back in St. Augustine and just hang out.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah.
Just come visit.
Have a stupid job, I would.
Stupid jobs. They suck. Anyway, before Ghost Augustine bought the location, we were told, and I couldn't confirm this, but this is what we were told, that the construction company actually reached out to them because they had been experiencing paranormal activity. So they reached out and said, hey, our employees have kind of seen some shit. Do you want to come investigate? They didn't describe the activity as malicious in any way. They said it usually just was objects moving or other kind of weird occurrences that they couldn't explain. Ghost Augustine did eventually purchase the property, like I said, in 2022. And eventually they opened it to the public for paranormal investigations. Now, I really liked this, that they didn't just immediately open it up, right? They purchased it and then they took a little bit of time to do their own investigations and research before just trying to make money off of it.
Right.
So
instead of just taking the word for what other people had said.
Right.
I will say, construction people, like, saying, hey, there's weird shit going on in here. There's something about, like, construction workers that lead me to believe that, like, you know, I don't know, kind of the normal everyday people, they're not trying to make any money off of it.
Exactly.
Right. So
agreed.
I don't know.
So I did dig in a little bit deeper, and I could not locate any evidence of any recorded deaths or major historical incidents that were tied to the property or the land. That doesn't mean that there's not any, right? Like, you just never know. It's property records are not the easiest thing to get a hold of for free. But just on what's publicly available, there's nothing that says this place should be haunted. But that, I think, makes the paranormal claims even more interesting, because unlike a lot of the locations in St. Augustine that do lean into centuries of documented trauma, this is a structure that was the structure was born in the 1930s. The structure was built in the 1930s.
How much did it weigh?
It just, it's a long history, but it has a long history, but it doesn't, nothing terrible happened.
We're back after a short argument and a restructuring.
We started talking about the spirits in the house, and we were discussing some of the equipment, and we're like, people might not know what this is. Maybe I should go over the equipment first. So we're back after restructure, and we're going to talk about the paranormal equipment that we used in this investigation. So there was a lot of activity in this house, but none of that activity was like full-bodied apparitions or things flying across the room, right? It's never anything that cool. Most of what we got was based on the equipment responses. Pretty much everything that we got was based on equipment responses.
I did see something.
Yeah, you did. But you're also like kind of psychic, so,
I was just going to say, I don't know if I saw it or if I saw it.
Saw it. Yeah, exactly. So depending on how you view these tools that we're about to discuss, kind of is going to change and shape how you interpret everything we're about to say happened at this house. So we're going to quickly walk through the equipment. We've probably mentioned a bunch of these on past episodes. If you are into the paranormal, you probably know what a lot of this is, but we're going to go over it anyway. So the first type of equipment that we have is energy and environmental detection equipment. So these devices generally are used to detect changes in environmental energy. And in paranormal theory, spirits are believed to be able to manipulate electromagnetic fields or draw from environmental energy, which can cause spikes, proximity alerts, or temperature drops. So first, you have an EMF meter. And if you are watching on YouTube, you will see pretty green lights. So an EMF meter is just that. It reads EMF spikes. If you put it near like equipment, it will go off.
Electromagnetic
field.
field.
It up to the computer. Like if it's near a cell phone, you can see it's going off. The theory is if it is steady and you are just setting it down somewhere and it is green, that if something suddenly starts to make it go off and interact with it, there could be a spirit nearby. There could be other things in the environment that do cause EMF. I also have noticed when you are like walking with it, and of course I can't get it to do it now, but when you're walking with it, sometimes it will just spike. So I never trust a reading if I'm just like walking with it, because a quick movement can make it spike. Then we have the REM pod, which we talked a little bit about earlier in the episode. If you have listened to any of our episodes in the past, we've used these several times while recording. And basically, it turns on. And it is said to... That's a lot of noise, sorry. It is said to, one, be motion. So I'm going to turn it on again. And if you like go near it, my hand is moving towards it and it's going off. It is also said to be able to do EMF. So if there's an electromagnetic spike, it'll also trigger it and go off. Some of the fancier, nicer REM pods also have temperature detection. And temperature detection is just if there is a temperature drop, then it'll also go off. And usually they have another sound that it does.
The REM pods there did have the temperature.
They did. Yes.
Yeah. Ours do not.
We used a lot of their equipment, and theirs is better than ours. Next, we have the dead bell, which Kelly got me for Christmas. This is another EMF detection device, and it emits a sound of the bell, which it doesn't make the sound. But basically, again, if it detects an EMF spike, then it will be triggered and it'll make that sound. And it said that, again, spirits should be able to interact with it. This is also somewhat of a trigger object because it's something so common that spirits know what it is. So, I mean, whenever you see a bell, who doesn't want to go up to it and be like, boop, 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 right? Of course you do. So the thought is, so do the spirits. Now, skeptics will say with this type of equipment that electrical wiring, why are you laughing at me?
Because your screen froze and you were doing like the best blowjob face I've ever seen in my life.
So skeptics will say that with these type of devices, that electrical wiring, appliances, HVAC systems, static discharge, cell phones, basically anything electronic can affect these devices and cause them to react, right? They confirm something changed in the environment, but not what caused that change, right? But believers will argue when these devices activate directly in response to questions, follow conversational patterns, or occur in areas without obvious electrical sources, the timing does then suggest something intentional and intelligent rather than just random interference.
Yep.
So with these types of equipment, again, understand that they're not perfect and that most of the time it is probably something electric that's doing it. But when they start to respond and answer you, that's when it gets interesting.
Well, like we were saying earlier, the EMF, some of the stuff is the stuff I put the least amount of.
Yeah.
I need a lot of external or extra stuff together with it.
Or really intelligent responses where it lights up.
We have had some really intelligent
immediately.
responses to EMF before.
We have. We definitely
Yeah.
have. So,
yeah.
So the next type of devices are audio communication. Now, these devices are used to capture or generate sounds in attempt to facilitate direct communication. In paranormal theory, spirits are believed to manipulate radio frequencies or imprint on recordings, forming words or phrases. So first, we have the spirit box.
Now, I am going to turn this on so you guys can hear how absolutely awful this sounds. But
It's
it
pretty terrible.
can be effective.
Yes.
We use this in the Estes method. This is, if you've seen our episode about the old jail, we had headphones hooked up to this. And this
Yes.
is what we were hearing in the headphones. So we turn it on and then we sweep it. So we hit this button and it sweeps through the stations quickly. And you want to tell them what it does?
Yeah, so it is a modified radio. It rapidly scans AM and FM frequencies, producing small fragments of broadcast audio. And it is believed that spirits can manipulate that or send their voices through so we can hear it.
Specifically relevant when we get such good responses
Yes,
to questions like we did at the old jail, which was pretty amazing.
it was. And that's why I like the Estes method, because I think it removes that pareidolia where you're listening, you ask the question and then you're immediately listening for an answer, right? And if you hear something that even somewhat sounds like that answer, you're going to be like, oh yeah, it was a ghost. But with the Estes method, it kind of is like, I didn't hear whoever's under didn't hear the question. So,
or even see you're wearing a blindfold too.
Yep.
So you can't even see the person's mouth move to even know that they are asking a question.
Right, at that moment.
Yeah.
Next, there is the PSD, or sometimes called PS device, PS5. There's a couple different variations. This is the Polterscript device that we got from Ghost Augustine's shop. And basically, this is a recording device that captures ambient sounds and converts detected audio into voice-to-text transcription in real time. And we are very excited to have one of these. We got to use it at the Dixie house, and we've obviously seen it on various paranormal investigation shows.
Adjust the sensitivity according to your environment.
So it does have a sensitivity adjustment, so you can make it like max sensitivity, which would mean that, you know, more stuff might come through, and it will
Triangle.
randomly say words. Now, very similar if this is near any type of electrical equipment or you're moving it around, it's trying to pick up on ambient sounds and translate them. So again, you're going to get random words. You're probably going to get things. I doubt that there was a spirit just standing next to me that said triangle. It's probably because I'm moving it and it's near my computer as to why it said triangle. And I turned the sensitivity all the way up.
When we get more into the investigation, we had something pretty cool happen with this device at the Dixie
did.
house.
We did, and we'll talk about. But we're very excited. We used the little money that we actually make from this podcast to buy our own PSD device, and we cannot wait to use it on our next investigation. I've played with it a little bit, and Kelly and I are going to just trade off every time we go to see each other. She'll get it for several months and then bring it back, and then I'll get it because they're expensive.
They are.
So if you want to buy us any paranormal equipment, please just DM me. I'll send you my Venmo.
Or, you know, what do we want next? A thermal imaging gun? Not
I want a
much would that
thermal
be?
imaging camera.
that would be
$100.
several
Yeah.
$100.
Actually, you can DM me and Venmo if you'd like, but I also on our actual website, which the link's on our social media and YouTube channel, we do have a donation button. So we haven't ever gotten any donations from it, but it's there. So if you want,
Nor do we really expect
we don't.
ever.
However, if you're like, hey, this equipment is cool and I wish they had more of it for their next investigation, go, you know,
We're
throw
gonna
some money at
stop
us.
you from
Yeah.
doing it.
No,
Right.
we'll love you forever.
Or you could join the Patreon page.
You could join the Patreon because then we're actually getting a little bit more bang
Right.
for your buck.
And you can join the Patreon page at patreon.com/notmyghostnotmyproblem. Okay.
Mhm.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
And probably one of the most common ghost hunting, the last part of the audio communication is just a simple voice recorder. This is just a standalone audio recording device. It is believed to be able to capture EVPs, which are electronic voice phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Do, 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 do. And the theory is that this can pick up on voices that aren't heard in real time with our actual earballs. You have to then go back and listen to the recording to see if you capture anything. So probably the most common EVPs are captured pretty frequently in the paranormal world. So skeptics will say that spirit boxes pull fragments from live radio broadcasts, and both digital recorders and voice-to-text software can interpret random environmental noises as recognizable languages. All three methods increase the likelihood of auditory and linguistic pareidolia, which basically means hearing something when there was nothing actually there. But believers will argue that when responses are contextually relevant, immediate, or captured in a more controlled condition, especially when there are multiple devices that record similar things, that consistency can suggest something more than just coincidence.
These
Next,
are some of
you-
my favorite devices to use. These
Yes.
devices.
I agree. Next, we have visual mapping devices, and this is pretty much the SLS camera, and this basically attempts to detect and map shapes within a physical space. In paranormal
Now,
theory,
Jen is going to pull up a picture on the internet somewhere, and she's going to put up a picture right now of
Right
what
now.
it looks like when it maps something. So you will
Yes.
get an understanding of what we're talking about.
yes. But basically, it's mapping a human-like form when there is no visible person present, and their theory is that this can indicate some type of spirit. So the SLS camera specifically is a depth mapping camera originally designed for motion tracking and gaming. that overlays a stick figure onto a detected shape. Skeptics will say that the software is programmed to recognize human-like patterns and can misinterpret furniture, shadows, or environmental edges as figures, and then a stick figure indicates pattern recognition, not any confirmation of a presence. But believers will argue that when mapped figures move independently, interact with objects, or appear consistently in the same location, that repeating mapping does suggest something beyond random shape detection. Now, there are apps you can get on your phone for SLS.
Right. But you have to be very careful. Like, the sensitivity matters a lot with an SLS, because I've had it on my phone and I've had the sensitivity all the way up. And if I point it at a picture of my granddaughter, it maps her.
It maps it. A doll. It's mapped
a doll.
To dolls. Yeah.
Right. But if you turn the sensitivity down, I turn it down so it doesn't map those things. Yeah. Like a picture of my granddaughter, the haunted dolls. When I get it down where it doesn't map that, that's when I know now I'm going to use this and see if we get anything.
A little bit more. Agreed.
Right.
And last, we have some physical trigger objects, right? So these objects are placed intentionally to invite interaction. So in paranormal theory, spirits, particularly child spirits or spirits tied to specific personal items or time frames or locations, are more likely to engage with something familiar or meaningful, right? So that's what I said about the dead bell and it being something that everybody just like, who doesn't just want to hit the bell? Everyone wants to hit the bell. So
everyone wants to hit the bell.
Other objects are the music box, which we have talked about before. We do not own one of those yet. That is a dream. So again, you can donate to our paranormal investigation fund on our website, or just DM us and ask for my Venmo.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead, do that, please. Thanks. But we really want a music box. But a music box is a motion activated device. So it plays a really creepy tune when triggered.
The creepiest of creepy tunes.
Real creepy, but I love it, and it's amazing. Another trigger item that you probably see pretty frequently in paranormal investigations is those little cat balls, which looks like that. And
you'll see it lights up if something touches it.
If they're touched. People tend to get a lot of good interactions with those. We have something similar that I have, the balloon light, which is what you see kind of a little bit on behind me. I don't want to turn this one on because I haven't pulled the little tabby thing out for the battery yet, because this is a new one, and I want to save the battery, so I'm not going to turn it on.
And what are those flashlights called that we want to get? Maglite. Is it mag? M-A-G?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you have the Maglite flashlights that are similar. And basically the concept with this is like you just screw it. Ah, fuck it. I'll take this little thing out.
That's what she said.
It is what she said. Ooh, spooky. And if you're just listening, go to YouTube to find out what was spooky. So the thought process with this is you kind of like screw it very lightly, which is kind of pointless in my opinion. But
I agree.
Then that if a spirit or something interacts with it, it turns on and flickers. Again, you see mine flicker behind me all the time.
Right.
There are also other things. People will leave out offerings. At the Dixie house, they left out a whiskey offering to one of the spirits because, again, they have just learned over the years of investigating that this spirit likes whiskey and tends to interact more when whiskey is played out.
I have a whiskey bourbon offering out now.
You do
for a spirit in my home, and we're not going to say anything more about that because they don't like to be talked about.
Yes. Other things, sometimes they will take REM pods specifically and put them in other trigger objects like a bear or another toy. So it's very similar to same type of concept as a REM pod, except it's disguised as a bear, which is supposedly attracting children and all of that. Skeptics will argue that motion sensors can activate from vibration, air movement, insects, mechanical sensitivity, or temperature shifts, and interpretation of activation relies heavily on expectation. Believers will argue that when objects directly answer requests or play after request, remain inactive otherwise, or respond in other ways that are kind of aligned to your narrative, that the timing does suggest that focused interaction.
I think it's important to say to you all that we don't like it. We go out of our way to make sure, like, we don't want it to be, we don't like, if we're using a piece of equipment and we get something, we're not like, oh, that's it. That's proof. This
Done.
isn't Ghost
Paranormal.
Adventures.
Solved. No.
This isn't Ghost Adventures. We don't go, oh my God, irrefutable
Kelly.
proof. Paranormal. So we try very, very hard to make sure when we are presenting something to you that it is something worth presenting.
Yes.
And if it's something that we're iffy on, we tell you that.
Yep, 100%. That's why I wanted to go over the equipment in this episode, because most of what we experienced was equipment based. So I want everyone to have the full story. Whether or not you believe this equipment actually detects spirits or not is completely up to you. We're just going to tell you what happened.
Correct.
Let's talk about the spirits. Okay, so a psychic named Ed reportedly determined that there were at least 11 spirits in the house. However, David only mentioned 6 of them when we did our walkthrough, because 11's a lot. It's a lot of spirits to keep track of. So we're going to go over kind of these spirits, who they are, where they're said to haunt, what they're said to do. And as we talk about them, we're going to kind of discuss if we had any interactions with them during our investigation. So first, there was Marvin, and Kelly got very close with Marvin. Marvin
I did.
is the spirit that hides out in the bathroom.
Have you ever had to shit in a haunted bathroom? Tell us in the comments below.
Please let us know. Send us your story. Maybe we'll have a whole Paranormal Postcards episode about our listeners
shitting in haunted
bathrooms with ghosts.
I love it.
I think of the titles. We could come up with some good titles for that one.
Oh man, now my brain is going.
I know. That would be a great episode. Please send us your stories so we can do it. But anyway,
Please.
Marvin, detected frequently on the SLS camera, sitting on said toilet, reported to rarely leave the bathroom. And now investigators do speculate that Marvin may have died from dysentery. But this is not confirmed because, as I said earlier, there are no confirmed deaths.
I almost joined
at the
him
house.
in
Kelly
his fate.
almost did die on the toilet. No, I don't think you almost died, hopefully. I don't know. I wasn't in there
No.
with you.
It was a rough night.
Yeah. I did go sit in the bathroom for about 5 minutes towards the end, not using it just because I wanted to kind of chill in the bathroom alone. The house is not very big. So
Not
there
at
wasn't
all.
really, like, even if you were alone in a room, you weren't really alone. Like, but the bathroom was the one place where you kind of felt alone. So, like, I did go in there for a little bit, turn the light
Right.
off, and just kind of sit, but nothing happened.
I did catch. So one of the claims about Marvin is that he hangs out in the bathroom and he will make the REM pods go off. And there was a REM pod in there set up. But once you come over to record it, it stops. I'm not sure if we have it. Jen will put it up now. A very short clip of the REM pod going off in the bathroom and then stopping right as I come up to record it. Hi. Yep. So when I was in here,
Of course.
I did get a small hit on an SLS and then it was gone.
Yeah.
But I did spend a lot of time in that bathroom. And at one point when I was in there, so there's a shower in there, and then across from the shower, it's like a storage closet that also has like a curtain in front of it.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, I heard that curtain move some when I was in the bathroom.
Okay.
But, I didn't get it on recording or anything because I was otherwise busy in said bathroom.
Y'all wouldn't have wanted to listen to that recording anyway.
You would not add.
So Marvin is also described as protective of the child spirit we're about to talk about, which is Benjamin. No historical evidence of that, but just based on their interactions. He also often appears on the SLS camera in the bathroom. So, you know, there's just two ghosts in there watching Kelly shit.
I hope they enjoyed themselves.
Hopefully. I kind of picture it as like in the show Ghost when they're like standing around the boiler, like when they're trying to fix it and they're just like talking and judging. I just imagine those two ghosts just standing around you on the toilet and be like, "Oh, that's a big one. I'm glad I can't smell." Sorry.
That would be great.
Next, we are going to talk about Jack. Now, Jack is associated with one specific room in the house. And again, it's believed that he grew up local, maybe not necessarily in the house, but local. It is also said that some people have reported that they think he died in a World War II POW camp. Some people say that the official cause of death was malaria. And then some investigators have said that they have gotten spirit box responses that suggest that he was hung. So
wow.
There's a handful of ways that people think Jack
he
died.
Was hung, was he?
Well hung.
He was just bragging at that point.
Cat balls are generally a trigger object for him. Apparently he makes them go off a lot. Whiskey offerings are left for him. As we said earlier, he is the ghost that is believed to like whiskey. And Jack is also said to be more active when women are present. So probably a perv. Like,
I did not find Jack to be too terribly active when we were there.
No, he really wasn't. That room was pretty quiet.
I did get a couple responses on the portal box. Well, the portal box is kind of like a spirit box.
Yes. The portal, it's set up to drown out the white noise so it doesn't sound so terrible and only send through the actual words. But that was pretty quiet most of the night.
I heard laughing in that room. I heard it laughing twice from the... So.
If you guys see things moving behind me, it's just my dog. She's getting antsy. That room was generally pretty quiet most of the night. Sorry, my dog.
It was very dramatic.
Well, usually I leave that open for her to look out the window, but when we record, I feel like it's too distracting, so I pull that blind down, and she doesn't like when the blind is down. So yeah, Jack was pretty quiet. Next was Colleen. Now, Colleen is reported to appear in the same room as Jack, but also in another room, which Kelly will talk about in 1 second. It is reported that Colleen died in a house fire near the property, possibly on it, but again, all reports. And some photographs that have been captured over the years allegedly show a figure in a 4-layer dress.
Now, when we sat down with, I almost said Brian, that's not his name, but that's the name that my brain likes to tell me. When we sat down with David, and he was telling us the history of the house, before he even mentioned that room or anything about her, I was talking and I could see the doorway of that room. And I was looking down towards the floor, and at the bottom of near the floor, I saw what looked like a woman's dress walk like from midway point in the door to like behind the wall in that room. Not behind the wall, but you know what I mean? Like past the doorway. And I said, is there someone in that room that has a floral dress? And then that's when he told us that yes, someone has been photographed in that room.
Yes.
But I cannot tell you if I saw that with my eyes or if I saw that here.
With her psychic brain.
It's I don't know how to differentiate or if it's all just eyes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
She's
do any
learning.
of this stuff. So,
Yeah, so Colleen, did we have her like really interact besides that? I think
she liked the
responded to-
bell. She was the one that
Yeah,
really liked
That's
the bell.
right. Yes. Sorry, there were so many spirits that it's hard to get them all mixed up. But yes, she did really
Right.
like the bell. That's right.
She also likes music. She's the one that likes. Was she the one that liked music, or was that the other one?
She was the one that liked music. Yes. Where he
Right.
would play, David would play like something on his phone, and then she would respond to the bell, which I do also I haven't said this yet, and because I'm just very upset about it, but I've recorded on a camcorder pretty much the entire investigation. And then we came home and I'm messing around with it, trying to pull some things up. And somehow it fucking deleted. Entire investigation just fucking gone. And I have no way to recover it. And I am very upset about it. And it is over a month later and I am still bitter. So
We'll never use those.
No.
We'll never use those cameras again. My camera, I've had 2 of them and they don't even work.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to donate to our fund to buy a new camera,
this is the
for our
donate
next
episode, everyone.
Investigation. You know what? I'm just going to put the link to our website in the episode description. So just go there. Just go there. It's fine.
Go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He made her mad because he played a song. Johnny Cash, the I Fell Into a Burning Ring of Fire.
Yep.
And she got very upset because they believe she died in a fire.
Yeah.
And he was like, he has apologized, and it took her a while to show
To start
what he
reacting,
felt like was a little bit forgiveness and react to him again.
Yeah, which is kind of funny if I'm being honest. But
it really is. Like, guys, if you're thinking that dealing with our moods and emotions and our anger is going to stop when we're dead, you're wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong. It's going to take a minute.
You're still going to have to apologize to us.
You're still going to have to grovel when you fuck up. Yep. Okay, so next we're going to talk about Sally, who is in that same room. And Sally is the haunted doll that I mentioned earlier. Now, this doll is kept in a cabinet that they keep closed.
Did you hear that? Sorry. Don't look exasperated at me. I heard something.
I'm very exacerbated.
Exasperated.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Don't suck a bag of dicks, Kelly.
Muting myself. A whole bag? How many
Again,
dicks are in a bag?
a lot.
Yay me. Jen, how's the autism doing?
It's bad right now, currently. I'm very overwhelmed and overstimulated, and I just want to talk about the fucking haunted doll, Sally.
Proceed.
Thank you. Okay, so Sally is a spirit that is believed to be attached to a doll that is kept in a cabinet. Now, they do keep her locked in this cabinet. I kind of remember him saying something about when they've taken her out and like it wasn't good and they don't anymore. But I don't remember because I lost the fucking recording.
There was a woman that works in that house that was her office. And she refused to be in that office after they brought Sally in. And then they started having activity around her.
Okay.
that was different than other activity, but they won't. That woman, they had to move her office. She won't work out of that room anymore.
So Sally was reportedly found in a secondhand store and had previously been used as a prop in a haunted house attraction.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? The girl wouldn't work in that office anymore because Sally fucked with her, I guess. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
There was another woman that worked there named Yvonne who took the doll home and
Oh, that's
had
right.
some unusual activity. She reportedly woke up with various marks on her body, including a busted lip. So after
Ooh.
after these experiences, she was like, fuck that. You guys can have this doll back. I'm done.
Fair.
So they do keep the doll in the cabinet out of respect, and they don't usually remove it.
It was a creepy looking little doll.
It was a creepy looking little doll.
And in that room, they had the bell, the dead bell that Jen showed you
Yes.
earlier.
Not that
And-
specific one. That one's mine, but
Right. But you could ask, so you would ask if it was Colleen to ding the bell like twice in a row, and that would happen. So you knew who you were talking to.
yeah.
And then as you were asking questions, you would ask it to ding the bell once for no and twice for yes, like right back to back. And we were getting a lot of really good yeses,
Yeah,
like
we
the
were.
back-to-back responses.
Yeah. It was very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Next, we have Charlie, and Charlie is described as a transient spirit, meaning he comes and goes, so he is not tied to the location. He is often said to communicate through spirit box sessions, and during one session, an investigator asked how he died, and the spirit reportedly said, "I died." And then
Very sad.
yeah, so it was kind of believed after that that Charlie kind of believed he was still alive up until that moment, which is interesting.
That must be quite the mind fuck to think that you're still alive and see things in your environment change so drastically and
Yeah.
kind of people come and go. Yeah.
Yeah. Then there are reportedly several different child spirits that haunt this house. Activity is said to increase when they have children or teenagers visit to do investigations. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And they also said that the thermal camera allegedly captured what some investigators believe is a portal. So, as I said earlier, the house is said to sit on a ley line, whatever the fuck that means, and that allows spirits to travel through that area. So that is one of the reasons why they think it could possibly be some type of portal that allows different entities to interact at any given time. So that was all of the spirits, and I know we kind of... The fuck was that?
I don't know.
Ellie, something fucking fell. What?
Nothing's
There has to be something fallen.
It sounded like it came from over here. It's nothing.
What the fuck?
There's nothing on the floor that wasn't already on the floor.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome. We're being haunted again. It's great.
Sorry.
Too bad Joel's not here.
Elias has been quiet this episode. Elias was
He
kind of
has
active
been.
last episode. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
So Elias. Oh, there he is.
Did
I've
you
been
lose
moving him around lately. I've been putting him on different shelves. I'll tell you later why.
Okay. Yeah, so we kind of touched on pieces of the investigation throughout this episode, but what are we forgetting? I know we're forgetting things. Because again, it was over a month ago. I know we just generally had a lot of response to, like I said, questions. Like just throughout the night, we would ask specific questions. Oh,
so
yeah,
one of
the PS
pieces,
device.
Right. So they had a PS device, which Jen showed you earlier, which will pick up on the sounds in the room for words and, spit out a word. And we have never had the opportunity to use one before this investigation. So I pulled it out, turned it on, and David showed me where to put like the sensitivity on it so it wasn't too sensitive, but it was sensitive enough.
Right.
And I was talking to the spirits in the house.
But first, it would not shut up. Like it just kept throwing out words
constantly.
And David said, like, they rarely get activity on this device.
Right. So I was talking and I introduced myself. I said, my name is Kelly, blah, 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 whatever. So I said, can you say my name? And we got the word even, which is my last name.
Which she did not say out loud.
I did not say out loud.
Yeah. Now I
just said Kelly.
I do just want to preface, this was not the first word that it said after she asked the question. It spit out a word or two. But again, when I say it was spitting out words, it was like every 2 seconds it was spitting out a word. No,
it was the first word after I asked that question.
Was it?
This is when it started getting... This is when the responses started to be relevant. Okay. Because at first it was just, before I even asked anything, it was just word, 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 word. It was just throwing words everywhere. And then it kind of slowed down. And I asked that about, like, can you say my name? And it said even, which is my last name. And I did not say that out loud. I just introduced myself as Kelly.
And I also want to point out that I booked this. So Kelly's last name was not on any receipts, credit cards, nothing. I booked it. I paid, short of them somehow being able to manipulate the device. And I mean, I did tell them that we had a podcast. So short of them looking up the podcast, finding Kelly's last name, and somehow manipulating this device, it's weird that her last name came through.
Right. So I was just generally talking to the spirits, and I said I was a mom because there were several child spirits, like we said, in the house. And I said I had 5 kids, and I got the word Alaska. And that's irrelevant because my daughter is moving to Alaska this summer. And I thought, well, that's interesting.
Weird coincidence.
So I was continuing to talk. And I said something along the lines of, oh, it's interesting that you say Alaska because, and before I could finish I was going to say, because my daughter is moving to Alaska. And I said, it's interesting that you would say Alaska because, and then it said daughter.
Yeah.
Which was pretty freaking interesting.
Yeah, that was a weird interaction that I cannot explain, for sure.
But it was really cool.
Yeah,
it was really cool for like using a PS device. I want to also say that we put that device down and came back to it later in the evening. Nothing.
Not a word.
Not a word came through.
And as someone who has played with her PS device that we now own, because it's so pretty. There are times where I will turn this on and it is, like I said, I find that I get more if I'm holding it near technology. But like, so I'll turn it on and I'll be like near my computer and it'll just start blah, 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 blah. And then I'll set it on the table away and it'll be like nothing. So it's interesting. I definitely like, I'm a little skeptical, and the more we use it, the more we'll report back. But like when I'm holding it and moving it, again, it's picking up that ambient noise. So it could be interpreting, words that aren't actually words and throwing them at us. But when it's sitting there and it's quiet, that's when I start to kind of trust it a little bit more.
Right. So another thing that had happened was they did have a music box there. And the music box was sitting on the table, and the motion detector was facing towards, there's like another door to the property that they don't use. So it was facing the door that would had been the front door to the house years ago.
Yeah.
And he had the music box facing that way because his theory was, if these spirits were spirits that were there years, 100 years ago, they would be coming through that door and walking down the hallway. So we would ask it to interact with the spirit box. And this is a short clip, but Jen is going to put it up now. Could you make the music box go off again? Just step in front of it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you.
Could you do it one more time?
It just said no.
And then that went off.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
So I had asked it to please step in front of the spirit box to make the spirit box go off, and it did. And it is thrilling to know that it has to be something standing in front of it.
Yeah.
Setting that off for that to happen. It was
And
so
we just
cool.
we showed you a short clip, but the music box interacted a lot more than just in that clip.
This just happened to be what I caught.
Yeah. Yeah. And I captured it all with my camera.
We know what happened there. So this place was, the entire time we were there, it was just boom, 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 boom. So after we left, I thought, because I am a skeptic, and my brain was like, did too much happen there?
We literally had this conversation on the car ride home.
Was there too much activity? So I'd be interested to go back.
Yes.
I really loved David.
David was great.
David was great. I trusted David was being honest.
Yeah.
But there was a lot. It was like, if that place is legit, which there's a lot of good evidence that it is.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with this place.
Me too.
So I can't wait to go back one day.
I know. I'm local. I just need to fucking call them up and be like, hey, do you have anybody booked tonight? And then just go.
Oh, that would be really fun, just last minute. You should go by yourself.
I mean, I wouldn't be alone.
Well, you'd have the tour guide. No, don't do that. Don't go by yourself.
Yeah, we don't.
Because we don't know what tour guide.
If we can confirm David, like, fine. But if I can't confirm what tour guide I'm going to get, it could be weird.
Right.
I'll take Mike. It's fine. And that brings us to the end of this episode on the Dixie House. The history, the spirits, the equipment, and what happened when we stepped inside for ourselves. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think that a place can be active without a dramatic tragedy attached to it? Or do you think there needs to be more of a heavy history to believe that a haunting is possible? Drop your take in the comments and tell us what kind of evidence you trust most. EMF, audio responses, SLS mapping, or none of it.
If you loved hanging out with us today, consider leaving us a rating, a review, subscribe, a like, a comment, donation. Just please interact with this post because it helps us out. It is half a second for you to hit that like button, and it means the world to us.
So please do. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at notmyghostpodcast if you want to experience even more chaos, because we're pretty fucking chaotic.
We definitely are. If you want bonus episodes or extra spooky perks, consider joining our ghosty community at patreon.com/notmyghostnotmyproblem.
And if you've ever had a creepy encounter of shitting in a haunted bathroom or any creepy encounter, please email us at notmyghostpodcast@gmail.com and you might hear it on a future episode. God, I want Joel to read a story about someone shitting in a bathroom with a ghost because I just gold.
I would just like to point out that when the Dixie House employees are listening to this episode, and we know that you are, considering how small of a house that it is, and there was somebody I didn't know in the house, I did very much appreciate the air freshener spray that was left in. If you want to actually see us reacting to all of this spooky nonsense, you can watch the whole thing over on YouTube. Go subscribe, drop us a comment, give us a like, all of that so we're not screaming into the void.
Well, thank you for joining us on this creepy field trip through the Dixie House and its big claims. As you follow the flicker of your EMF meter, keep this in mind.
If it's not your ghost,
it's not your problem.
Until next time, stay spooky.
And stay skeptical.